Welcome back. This is part 2. So we just did question 21. How early do students need to choose a career path?
How early?
Yeah, how early should they choose a career path?
In my opinion, I feel like. In my opinion, I feel like when you're growing up and you're trying to choose your career path, when you're younger, you're going to say you want to be this person, you want to be that thing when you grow up or whatever. I used to always say I want to be a teacher. I went to high school. I said, never mind. I still would now, but it would have to be maybe like second grade and under. Anything over, I'm not doing it. But I feel like there's really no set time on like how early you should choose your career path, because things in life happen. So sometimes it might change your mind on what you want to do. I was going to college and I still didn't know what I wanted to do exactly, career path wise. I'm actually just now figuring that out. So yeah, that's my take on it.
No answer, Casey?
Oh, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
How early do you think students need to choose a career path?
I don't believe this is something that you can really technically put a time on, because a lot of situations with career paths can actually be based on what you're exposed to and when you're exposed to them in life. And true enough, you know what I'm saying, you can... this is where I think schools are important, because you have certain schools that actually will expose kids to different careers. Like I went to a career-based school in Irving, Texas. Shout out to the Academy of Irving. Long story short, they have all these different career paths. Like I was in applied technology at one point in time, and then I realized I really didn't like it, so I went to what I knew I was going to be happy with, which was media tech. Well, in applied technology, you know, we learn to write code. We learn to use lathes to make different structures, different little things. You know, you program a robot to do what you need it to do, and then it can mass produce it once you write your code and everything. They had a lot of different career paths, such as certain things in art. I can't even remember everything that they had, but basically it was a lot of different things that kids can be exposed to, so that way that would give them a push in what it is that they think that they would actually like. You have some schools that have shop class, automotive stuff. I never had the luxury of doing that, but after I was 18 years old, I was exposed to some things. I already had that in me, because I started off working on bicycles and everything like that, making money around the neighborhood. And it blew up and it turned into cars. And then from cars, I went to 18-wheelers and diesel. So, again, that just had to do with, and I didn't get exposed to that in school. It wasn't until I was out of school when I was actually exposed to it. So that's my opinion on that.
Okay, I like both of y'all answers, and I agree, because I feel like the earlier the better. Because as CJ mentioned, you do grow and your opinions change and your outlook change. I didn't know I wanted to be in psychology until I was in my mid-20s, like 26, 27. Before that, I wanted to be in the medical field. And then I realized that I don't like seeing blood squirt out people's arms. It grossed me out, and yeah, I was okay with that. I feel like the earlier that you are prepared for it, the better decision you can make. Like, you want to be able to explore your options, and I feel like that's what education should be. Yes, it solidifies you in your future, but you should be able, while you're in school, in elementary school, even as far as elementary school, middle school, and all that, you should be able to explore your options, because you might say, oh, I want to be a firefighter, but as soon as you get into the field, you're like, I didn't know what this shit was. I don't want to do this shit. So I feel like the younger they're exposed, the better, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Okay, so question 22 is, what do you think about today's education?
What do you mean?
What's that question again?
What do you think about today's education? I asked him based on, like,
The system?
yeah. The education for today, education. I mean, they have a lot more opportunities than we have, but the system is also really messed up. So you have to be able to know how to maneuver this education system, which is basically knowing politics and everything, in order to take full advantage.
In today's education system, I feel like there needs to be more patience. Everything is changing. For instance, just like how you have children at earlier ages, you know what I'm saying, becoming sexual and everything like that, the education system seems to be changing with that. And college type situations are getting younger and younger and younger. True enough, just like, Albert Einstein, you might have a few out the bunch that receive things a lot quicker than others, but I feel like that doesn't mean that we take those students, and just because they can get it as quick or quicker than others, that we let the education system walk away from those that need that extra help, which in my opinion would require more patience from the system overall, because you can't put it on one teacher when that teacher is being forced by the state to uphold certain minimum requirements just for the sake of the students that catch on real fast. And that's just my personal opinion on that.
23 is, what do you think about this generation? Are they entitled or not?
Oh,
Yeah, they are.
That's mine. I ain't got nothing to speak on that.
I ain't got nothing to speak on that either. I say yeah. CJ? Yeah, we're all in agreement to that. 24, how much responsibility should parents take in a child's education? I think they should take more responsibility than the teachers do. Because yes, the kids could go to school and learn what they learn in school, but if they come home and not doing nothing but sitting in front of a TV, they're not retaining that information.
Absolutely.
So a lot of parents, I've noticed the trend is, y'all, oh, my kid ain't learning nothing in school. It's not that they're not learning, they're not retaining it, because when they come home, and I understand you be tired from work, you be tired from this, you be tired from that, but that's part of being a parent. You're a doctor, you're a nurse. When you're a parent, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a pediatrician, you're a pharmacist, you are an educational person. You're like a teacher. You're everything. All them roles that are out in the world that you go send your kids to, you're that as well as being a parent. That's why having kids should not be taken lightly.
Absolutely.
And that's why not everyone is made to have kids, to be honest. And I know that there might not be a popular opinion, but it is what it is. I think parents should take more responsibility in their kids' education than the teachers do.
In that situation, I actually also feel like parents, when it's all said and done, we got to make sure that we're communicating with these teachers so we could be on the same path as these teachers. Because my thing is, I've seen too many situations where in today's schools and everything like that, for instance, I have 4 children personally myself, right? When it's all said and done, these children can go to school, they can learn math, they will bring it home to the parent, And even though the parent understands how to solve that problem, the teachers are teaching them a completely different way of how to get there. Now, when it's all said and done, the question is, if the parent teaches math one way that they understand it and get to the same result, but the teacher teaches it a whole different way and gets to that result, but the teacher wants to see all of the work of how they taught it, then that also, in a sense, makes the parent obsolete. Because unless the parent also is taught how that teacher wants it to come out, there's no way of gaining middle ground unless the parent and the teacher are on one accord. So, in my opinion, I feel like that's something that needs to be strived for, is to make sure that the parent and the teacher could be on one accord, because you would like to think that if they got the ending result correct, that would be okay, but they can literally get a lesser grade because they didn't take the steps to get there how the teacher told them to. And I feel like that part is a problem.
That's a very good answer, and I actually really agree with everything you said. CJ, do you have a opinion on the question?
Can you tell me the question once again?
Is how much responsibility should parents take in their children's education?
How much responsibility, right? Yeah. I believe they should, be serious, just as if the children are going to school for 8 hours, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then you come home and say the child may say, hey, I don't have homework. They lie about that. So as a parent, I don't have any kids, but if I was a parent, I'm going to check your backpack. I'm going to make sure that you really don't have any homework. Like, for example, like Casey said, when you're teaching math or something at the schoolhouse, a teacher might have a way of doing it, but then you come home, your parent might not even know what to do. Or the parent has to be familiar with that type of equation or whatever and help that child learn better to, comprehend it more. Taking responsibility. I've had that problem before. I think I was in high school and I got high-headed or something like that. I said I wasn't going to do a project. It was an English class. I'm very good at English. I just felt like I was above, and then I ain't got to do this project. That was 60% of my grade. And I'm thinking one way. I'm just like, whatever, going with it. I get home. The teacher calls my mom. Didn't know. And so my mom could have ignored it, but instead of her ignoring it, she corrected me. And guess what? I did that project. Yeah. You would have failed without I would have failed that class without doing it. So it just takes, that type of responsibility.
All right, we're on our last minute, so we'll start the question. Or, matter of fact, before we start the question, because they're on our last minute, hi, how's everyone doing? Where are you from? For the people that's on POF, hi, how are you guys doing? How you guys doing? Where are some of you guys from? We're in our last 30 seconds to get some quick shout outs. And then we'll be back on for the next 15 minutes. Hi, London, France, Paris, Africa, Texas, what's up? Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. Welcome. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for keeping tuning in. Leave your comments and everything. We will get back to you on them. But we're going to start our next 15 minutes. I'm going to end this one. Just keep that notification button on. Peace.